Okay, so Sawadee Krab, and thank you for joining me at my YouTube channel today. I want to discuss Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, and the function or the facility of the software to help you reduce grain or noise on your images, and just how good is this software at doing that. Well, I've been using Lightroom for many years, and obviously there have been improvements to the software over the years. So I'm currently on 14. So is it any good? The question is Lightroom any good at helping you through problems with noisy images whereby you have had to shoot in quite low light and increase your ISO to a fairly high level? Now, we talk about something in the camera world, talk about something called base ISOs of cameras, which is sort of a algorithm designed to give you the best possible results at certain ISO levels, ISO ratings. I have been taking a few pictures down in a place called Bang Sen recently, just south of Bangkok, and it was late afternoon, early-ish evening when we got there, and we were faced with a very beautiful scene. It's a lovely seascape, the pier, the jetty, a photograph from a restaurant on the side of this seaside here, this beach, and so I just wanted to go through the process of let's deal with the noise issues. We didn't have a lot of noise, a lot of granular problems with it or artifacts, but I just want to show you how Adobe Lightroom can deal with noise. How good is Lightroom with noise? Well, let's have a look at it, right, shall we? Let's just have a look at a couple of pictures which were taken a bit later in the night, whereby the lighting obviously was become darker, and these are a couple of images which were late on. As you can see, the sun is setting, and these are images which are taken at that time of the evening, generally quite low light, right? So how are they dealing with the light? Well, this was shot at, I believe, 3200 ISO. We deal with these base ISOs, which are based on these multiple factors, and 3200, 640, 1280. These sort of ranges are what's called base ISOs for the camera, and they're designed to give you the best granular structure, the best low noise images that the camera can achieve. So how good is it done? Well, this is this is a 6400 ISO. 6400, because I was handheld, holding the camera just without any tripod or anything, and the lighting was actually fading quite quickly, of course, as it does. So this is an image which is being taken as a raw image. I only ever shoot raw. I never shoot JPEGs with my camera. I think it's dangerous to do that because you're so limited with the dynamics of shooting a JPEG to fix anything you need to fix later. There are many limitations. Then you start to add artifacts to your image which you don't want. So this is, I believe this is 6400 ISO, and it's quite noisy as you'd expect. It gets a bit smudgy. But is it acceptable? Maybe in some situations it would be, but generally if I'm seeing this amount of grain, this is 200%, as you can see there, and I would say that it's quite noisy, right? So let's have a look at the image sort of before. That's before, and this is after it's been dealt with in Lightroom. This is the noise reduced version in Lightroom. I'll go through the process of that in a second, but that is now a much cleaner image. I think you can see that, right? It's a much cleaner image altogether. So what do we need to do? Well, let's have a look at the process. Let's go back to this image here. Let's just move forward a little bit to some images before this. This is an image that's been enhanced already, obviously a lot lighter. So this is if you look in the sky, the detail in the sky at 200% is actually very acceptable in my opinion. So let's just go to the original of that. These are images taken a bit earlier in the evening. Go to the earlier version. Yes, it's grainy, it's noisy. You know what we'd expect. I think these are 3200 ISO. There was a time in my background as a photographer that anything more than 500 ISO you were going to be really struggling unless there was a demand for your images, noisy images. You had no choice but to take them, right? But we have choices these days. So that's an image which has been shot at 3200, and this is the image after it's been post-processed and post-produced in Lightroom, which has reduced the grain, the noise. So let's just go through that process, shall we? And here's the images I'm going to be working on today, these sunsets, and there's a sunset that is an original. So let's work on this image today, shall we? This is quite a noisy image. It's not being, there's no other processing being carried out, I believe, apart from cropping, a bit of cropping. So here we are with this image. Let's just have a look at the process for dealing with the grain on this. All right, so let's go to the retouching area, right? Detail. We pull down to detail. Pull this down to the detail area. So detail, and you can see this is where you have the noise reduction. Obviously, you've got things like sharpening. We don't normally go into those because sharpening usually introduces artifacts which you don't really want to introduce to your image. But we'll go to the noise reduction, and that will pull up the window for that, for the noise reduction. Now, I generally will not go above 30. All right. I generally don't go above 30 because you start to introduce, in my experience, you start to introduce artifacts which you don't want to have. So this is the enhanced version. Just pull this down a bit and look at the, you're better looking at sort of more a highlight area, contrasting with the shadows, the mid-tones and the shadows. Now this is the enhanced version, this is the non-advanced version of that, right? So you can see the without enhancement is pretty grainy, which you would expect for 6400 ISO, right? So that's quite grainy. We release that and we show you now the enhanced version. You can go way up there and make that super sleek, sleepy smooth, and sleeky smooth, and very smooth. That's not natural. I work with about the 30 range. So I'll work on there as about 30, which is a good range to work at. Generally, if you can work lower levels and better, the better off you are. Obviously, you don't want to be over-processing your images. So here's an image which is now at 20, let's say 25. Let's go on 25 for this one. We might get away with 25 on this and see how different that is. Well, obviously, it's a massive difference. So let's just run this on just 25%. And put that down to enhance that image and have a look at that compared to how it was shot at how it was noise reduction by 30%, right? This is on 25. So as you can see now, it's creating a DNG. Up in the left hand corner here you can see it's creating a DNG, which is a digital negative. But here we are with the image currently being denoised, and we'll take a look at that in a second and just see how we get on with that. This is the enhanced version. It shows you here we've just added 20% to that, 25%. Yeah, so denoise has been added. We've also got manual noise reduction, which I don't think it's necessary, but here we are with the enhanced version. This is the original. Let's look at the original first. Okay, just zoom into that. That's the original. Okay, quite mushy because this was 6400 ISO. This is another version of that which is being pushed a bit higher, and then this is the most recent noise reduction I've just done, which is enhanced noise reduction. So this is the second version of that. and this is the original version. So let's have a look at the original. The original has obviously been had some saturation as well added to it, but this is the one that's been had saturation added to it. This is a 6400 ISO image, and then here is the next version of that. So down the level a bit more. We've pulled the noise reduction down to 25%. All right, so it's still relatively, it's good. I mean, it's okay, right, compared to the original. Look at the original, that's quite mushy, quite noisy. So we haven't actually enhanced the ISO, we haven't actually pushed the noise reduction too high. This is at 25 and this is at 30, with obviously some color saturation added to it as well. So let's have a look at this and what we can do with this image. We'll go back to the standard grading of that, and we've done a little bit of additional work on that as well, and we're going to just enhance the sky. But the idea of this video today is just to show you what we can achieve with noise reduction, and then go back a bit further. This was earlier in the evening, so it wasn't as dark, obviously. This one has had no noise reduction. This is the original form. Not bad. This is shot at, I believe, 3200 ISO. Not bad at all. Look at the sky, fairly clean. This has had no post-production apart from saturation on the image. That was just a random image of this. I thought there was a guy sat in the water, like sort of, just floating on the water initially with a mobile phone. Can you see that image? What I'm trying to identify that as? So here we are with an image that's been post-processed with Lightroom to reduce gain and to reduce grain. Not bad. Not bad at all. So thank you for joining me today. This was just showing you how good Lightroom can be at helping you fix your imagery. Sawadee Khap.